Hey y'all, Ramdino here, coming at you from 2021. I have been waiting about 10 months to say that to you, and I am so glad, as I know you are, to see 2020 in the rearview mirror. So welcome to 2021. Welcome to my channel. Hopefully you've come here to be part of the hiker community, to support the hiker community, help me build it, and help me support the Thru Hikers. And the best way that you can do that is go down the description section, and there you'll see a link to the 2021 Thru Hikers that are coming up, that are getting ready to get on trail. Some of them are already on trail. And there you'll find a link to that Google spreadsheet. You'll find all their social media accounts. You can go and support them all the way throughout their journey. Let's talk about the 2020 hikers that are still out there on the trail. So Bones, he's still out there on the trail. He's taking a break in Erwin, Tennessee for a day or so, and hopefully he's going to be getting back on after he's had a break. It has been a really wet, and of course at elevation it's been cold week for the 2020 hikers and folks that are out there on the trail. So Crash Bash and Whole Foods, they are somewhere between Rome Mountains and Erwin. So they're coming in there any day now, and looking forward to seeing their update when they get there. They stayed there in Rome Mountain at Station 19E and spent New Year's there. And so they've been back on trail now for a day or so and should be getting on into Erwin any day now. So currently that is all the 2020 hikers that we're tracking out there. If you've got any that you're tracking that have not already closed out their season, then please let me know. We'd love to include them and support them as they get finished up for their thru hike. 2021 hikers, some folks are just getting started. So Zombie, he got started down in Amicalola Falls State Park and he was number 7. He also confirmed that they are not giving out bag tags. So I'd already reported that earlier in an earlier video, and he has proven that true, that they are not giving out any bag tags. Subman and Suds, they also started down in Amicalola State Park, and their registrations was 9 and 10, and they started along with Moonbeam and Big Cypress. So they actually started in 2020 and got off due to the pandemic, and now they're getting back on and they're doing it again. So kudos to y'all for getting back out there. We got a few hikers that are scheduled to start. We haven't seen any posts from them yet. So if you know them personally or know anything about them, please let us know. Or if one of you hikers that I'm getting ready to list is out there, let us know. It's Kathy Driggers, Walkabout, and Rodney. So we don't have any information for them. They were due to start. And then coming up this coming week, Boxcar Willie is getting ready to get started. He starts on the 5th. So go to his channel and be sure and support him and give him a good send-off. And Boxcar, when you get down to Amicalola Falls State Park, you're going to sign in to the registration book. And this goes for anybody else that's starting out at Amicalola Falls State Park and is going to sign in. If you would take a picture of the page you sign in and send that to me, I'd greatly appreciate it. There's information on there that I like to get out to the hiker community. Things like how many folks started that particular day, what kind of pack weight they had, information that people just like to know. And the folks down there at the state park, they're used to people doing that just to have a kind of as a memento, and so they don't mind if you distribute that. So send that to me. Anybody's name or address that's on there, I will X those out if I include that graphic, and that way then we don't give away any type of private information. Just really looking for data, not really looking for any type of private information. So we'll make sure we keep that safe for everybody out there. And then on the Thru Hiker community support list, after Boxcar starts, we don't have another one for another week starting, and our list has grown to over 160. So if you're a Thru Hiker or somebody's going to be out there thru hiking on the trail in 2021, then please go to down in the description section. You'll find a link where you go and fill out a form. Put yourself on that list, and there's just a little bit of information that we need from you so that people can support you on your social media accounts. And if for some reason you don't want to do that, or you're not somebody who's really savvy with that, don't worry about it. I'll be glad to do that for you if you'll just send me that information. So we had a couple hikers here that may be putting off their hike, just hopefully temporary. Larry Campbell had to postpone just due to some medical appointments that he could not get taken care of due to the pandemic. So he may wind up starting again in 2021, but more than likely 2022. And then on a really personal note that I would ask you personally, and this is for parachuting Beaver. She was recently diagnosed with kidney cancer. So if you pray, I'd like for you to go and pray for her, remember her, go to her link and go to her social media account, and please let her know that you're behind supporting her. If praying's not your thing, then sending good vibes, whatever you can do to just help her, because I know that a state of mind can, good state of mind, knowing that people are behind you has a lot of healing powers to it. And personally, I believe that prayer has a lot of healing powers to it. So please go and support her. So registrations for the 2021 season that are coming now, these are not registrations for my hiker support list or the community hiker support list. These are coming from the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. So Nobo, last week we had 1,653, and this week we have 1,792. Last week we had flip-floppers was 74, and this week we had 76. And Sobo, last week we had 55, and this week we had 66. So big week. We had totals last week was 1,782, and totals this week was 1,934. So that's up over 152 from last week, and that's actually up over 500 hikers from this time last year. So last year this time we had 1,403, so we're up about 38% from January 5th of the 2020 season. Going back and check that in my previous update. So also the trail is maxed out for 10 days. Last week I think it was 8, now we've maxed out for 10 days, and of course the maximum number this year is 38. And the days that it's maxed out are the typical days that you would expect it to be maxed out, or what has been the days it typically in the past has been. And that's the around the March 1st date, so the 29th, 30th of February before then, and March 1st, 2nd, all those dates are, a lot of hikers there maxed out. And then around April 1st, April 2nd, also mid-March, there's a couple days in there that are maxed out. So those are typical dates at each year that get maxed out. And so one of the interesting things I looked at was March 1 through 4, there's 153 hikers that are starting the trail. Now, we don't know if they're going to, how many of those are doing the approach trail. Certainly some of them will, or how many of those are just going straight to Springer at the southern terminus and starting there. The more that are split up between those, the more they'll be split up actually on the trail out there, and they won't all get bunched up. You can imagine 153 people starting at Springer all going to the same 3 shelters, and typically Hawk Mountain Shelter is the first one where a lot of people make it to. That's an 8-mile plus or minus day for folks. So that's where a lot of people stay their first day, and that can get pretty packed up around there. So 153 people on the trail, that's a Congo line in my book. That's a Congo line at trail days in my book. So in any case, I thought that was some pretty interesting stats to give you there. Some trail news: the Southern Ruck of 2021 has been canceled. That is usually in late January, and that's a getting together of folks there, and kind of a mini trail days. And that has been canceled, as has the 2021 Northern Ruck has also been canceled, both those due to the pandemic. So both those are in the end of January. I'll be looking at some of the other trail festivals in the next couple weeks and letting you know, reaching out to those folks and letting you know which ones of those have been canceled. And then the AT guide, also known as the AWOL guide, is coming out, and that is due out in roughly 3 weeks. So right now, all you can get is the interactive PDF. So it will not come out until January 27th is its ship date, and that's a major planning tool for people doing section hikes, but also for thru hikers. So if you're a thru hiker, you're getting ready to start before it comes out January 27th, you can always get the interactive PDF and put that in your phone. So I put that in my phone anyway, so I'll have it out there because I've always got my phone with me on the trail. But I also have a paper copy. But anyway, in any case, I did discover that because Santa brought me that this year for Christmas, and updated. Last I had was 2017, so now I've got 2021, but the box was empty. So I figured out why, because it actually has not come to print. So some Trail Angel news out there. I've had several Trail Angels help me this week in helping some thru hikers that are out there on the trail now, kind of get them situated and working with them around some weather and some other things out there. So for you Trail Angels out there, I greatly appreciate you helping me do that, and you allow me to be a part of what you do to help the hikers out there. I'm just here in a nice comfortable, warm place, and I'm not actually out there going around on roads and back roads and trying to help hikers and stuff. So thank you for allowing me to be a little bit a part of what you do, and I hope that was all successful for you. So one of the Trail Angels things that you can be a Trail Angel from home, and the Station 19E has a program there, and they're at Roan Mountain, and they have a program there that you can actually be a Trail Angel from home. So you can go to their website. It's called Trail Angel from Desk. I think that's what it's called. There's a link down in my description section there, but you can go and purchase a bunk or purchase a craft beer for a hiker there, and then you can also just leave money there for them, and that way they can use that towards food, because they do have a lot of food and stuff. Last year they actually had listed, like you could buy them fries or onion rings or a burger or breakfast or what have you. He's not doing that this year just because they offer so much. So what he's doing is you can actually just put some money on an account for them, and they can use that towards food or whatever they need, even a resupply, whatever they need for there. So David McGee there at Station 19E, he's a great guy, and he is very honest, so that money will go towards the Thru Hikers, there's no doubt. And what his goal is to get at least one item of trail magic for each Thru Hiker that comes through there this year. So in 2019, they had 1,100 transactions, or 1,100 actually trail magic items that were done for hikers. This year, because of 2020, they only had 326. So this year he's wanting to do one for every hiker that comes through there. And so that needs to be up closer to 2,000. So go down there in that description section, find that link, go to that, and let's go ahead and get that loaded up for thru hikers that are coming through there. And then also Fresh Ground and the Leapfrog Cafe, he has started his fundraiser for 2021. I'll leave links down there also in the description section, and these links stay there all the time for Fresh Ground. So you can get money to him and donate to what Fresh Ground does. He'll be leaving out on February 14th. He's the Valentine's, the guy with the big heart that'll be on the trail feeding hikers and helping them out. And you can get money to him through all kind of methods, Venmo and Facebook, and just a plethora of ways you can get to it, and that'll all be down there. Go to his Facebook page, and there'll be all the links that you need to get him donations that you want to do to help him as he helps out the thru hikers. And he really does a great job. He spends most of the year, 9 to 10 months at least, out there on the trail, away from home, sleeping in a van, in the wet, in the cold, in the heat, in the bugs, feeding thru hikers. So thank you, Fresh Ground, for doing that, and thank you folks for helping Fresh Ground be successful at being the trail angel that he is. And then note that I want to make just for the channel, or for me in general, I got wind that my name had been invoked over on a Facebook page about the shelters, and that I had not indicated that the shelters were closed. So just wanted to clarify that. I have indicated that the shelters are closed due to the pandemic. So almost all shelters on the AT are currently closed. This graphic here shows that the ATC says they have 56 shelters and privies. So when the shelter's closed, the privy's closed. Indicates they've had 56. Now, those are just the shelters that the ATC looks after. Them. There are other shelters that the ATC is not under their authority, and those would be under the National Park Service, such as in Shenandoah or Smokies, and then also in National Forest. So, the graphic shows from Virginia to Maine, but it's in Georgia and North Carolina too, because the National Forest Service looks after those shelters. That's under their domain. privies down there. So the privies are not being maintained, so just about all shelters on the ATC are closed. Certainly not enough that you could put together any decent amount of a section hike, and certainly not a through hike. So, you know, there's not a physical barrier to them. So you can stay in them. You can congregate around them all you want to, but they're officially closed. So, you know, if you do that at your own risk for health, but you also do that at your own risk just for legal means. I don't know that what the ramifications are other than a fine. Just to be honest with you, you can stay in them with impunity because there's nobody that I have seen while I've been on trail through my section hikes this year, since they were closed at the end of March. I think it's March 28th when they were closed. There's nobody out there patrolling that, so there's no law enforcement officers that I've seen. And you could stay in them if you wanted to, but that's certainly not something that I would recommend. And but I did just want to clarify that the shelters are closed, pretty much everything on the trail it is. Well, folks, that's all I've got this week. I appreciate you tuning in. As always, appreciate you, and I hope to see you out here in 2021.